Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good day, everybody. Good
Yeah.
Sunday, and hello to Gemma,
Hey.
and hello to the replay viewers, and hello to Danny Bruno, and Michael Murray, and Anthony Davis, and everyone coming in slowly. We are here on a Sunday for a special episode of the Mental Health Hour. I got a text this morning uh, from Gemma saying, "Hey, it's World Mental Health Day. Did you realize?" And I'm like, actually no. Like, I guess that's right. Yeah. So after confirming, we decided to do a little broadcast this evening, being that it is World Mental Health Day. So uh, just a very low key special. I mean, if you want to talk about something, throw it in the comments. We'll discuss anything that comes our way. Hi Molly, how are you? Welcome on in. So, how was your World Mental Health Day today, Gemma?
Driving me crazy. I've had
Oh,
a really busy day. Um, Anything that could have gone wrong has, but we're all good. We're all back on track now. Sort of.
back on track. That's always good.
Yeah,
Um,
it derailed for a few hours, but back on track.
did you do anything to recenter, to ground?
Music. I put music on and
Well,
stood and did a bit of ironing. That ironing wasn't really something to help, but it had to be done. But the music was, mm, it helped.
yes, music is always good. That's actually something we'll be getting into in a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, but like I said, welcome on in, everybody, as you're coming in. If there's anything, hi Shirley. If there's anything at all that you would like to discuss tonight, just throw it in the comments section. And as always, Gemma will throw in our bio link if you want to submit a anonymous message to us about maybe a tough subject that uh, you'd rather not blast out in the comments section. That's fine as well. She has it open on her end, and we'll be able to see as they
Mhm.
come in. Um, we have a pop there.
I'm opening a can of pop. I tried to do it really quiet and it didn't work.
That's the thing. When you do it quiet, you got to. It's like Band Aid.
Yeah.
You know, Pepsi Max. Yes.
Yep.
So to start out World Mental Health Day, I found a global statistics. There's a couple of great slides out there. I only uploaded a few, um, but we'll start with this one here. Depression is a topic that we've covered several times on
Mhm.
this show, and it does play a key role in all of our mental health on a daily basis. So globally, depression accounts for 41% of all the years spent living with mental or behavioral disorders. 41% is depression. The rest are all, you know, 10, 11, 15, and 7. Um, and a very interesting thing underneath of that. Well, I mean, we'll start with 350 million people globally suffer. That number is astounding,
Mm.
um, considering how many people actually live and deal with depression on a daily basis. But twice as many women typically develop depression than men, although in richer countries, 3 times as many men die by suicide. But what do you think about that, Gemma? Twice as many women typically develop depression than men.
I I think some of that's to do with the fact that men seem to think that they can't be seen as struggling personally. That's like that number. I think that would be more if there were people um like I bet a lot of people weren't admitting or didn't even know that that's what they were going through. Because I know for a long time for me, I didn't think I was depressed, and I was just plumbing plummeting into doing things that was just keeping me busy. And I think that, like, definitely with men, I think they feel like they have to be seen as the breadwinner, the provider, the stronger one. And that's why maybe there's not quite as many.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can
mm.
definitely see what you're saying there. Hi, Michael. Welcome in. Thanks for the award. I can see what you're getting at there because it kind of plays also into what I've talked about on here before about being a first responder and us being, the ones that people call on for help. So it's very hard for us sometimes to be the one asking for help. So it is a good point. Maybe the numbers are skewed a little there because men don't actually report their depression as much as maybe women do, which could, yeah, absolutely make the numbers seem higher. So that's a good point, Gemma. You had mentioned earlier about listening to some music for recentering your day today, because your day got a little, crazy, would you say?
Yeah.
So would you say that music as a whole would be like your favorite recentering or grounding kind of way to either calm down or, like I said, recenter, kind of make everything feel somewhat normal again?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I do have other methods, but it's not always easy to do them having a child. Whereas when I'm like today, I felt myself getting quite aggravated at times with things that weren't going right. And like I couldn't just go out for a walk because I can't just leave him by himself. So that wasn't an option because going out for a walk by myself helps. Getting away from the situation again, couldn't do it because can't leave my child. So music is something that I can do almost anytime, anywhere. It's something really simple to do. Like even if you're out and about, if you've got like your AirPods or something, you just put them in just to listen to your music. Pretty much wherever you are. Like obviously you can't start blasting music out if you're at work or something, but it is something that is quite easy to do. Doesn't take a lot of effort and seems to be one of the more common choices for most people.
Yes.
Because there's such a
Yes,
variety
it
as well.
does. I wanted to throw this.
Mm.
I wanted to throw this back up to take another quick look at. It looks like Global Burden of Diseases, Injuries, and Risk Factors Study 2013. This was. So, just global numbers from the World Health Organization. Now, obviously, these have probably gone up since 2013, but the numbers are all still there. 41% depression is the key takeaway here, and I feel like that's going to always be the case. I mean, more people suffer or struggle with. I hate to say the word suffer. I really do. I always try and catch myself. Struggle with. More people struggle with depression and living life trying to navigate with that depression and anxiety. Anxiety is certainly high on the list as well, but depression by far trumps all in the world of mental health in a global perspective. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
And Shirley brings up a great point. It's I'm sure it's increased drastically with COVID, the COVID-19 pandemic, adding in on top of the already depression numbers that are already withstanding. Certainly, people have lost jobs, people have lost homes, people have lost friends, family members. Just so much has come out of this pandemic in the way of not really helping alongside. What'd you do there?
This is why I shouldn't touch buttons. Right, right. I'm just gonna leave it. Excuse me.
I think you
Sorry.
want. I think what you need there is notifiers. See, like this. Watch.
There we go. This is literally why I shouldn't touch anything. I'm just gonna leave things alone. You do that. I was trying to be clever.
That's all good. I keep myself on a sleep schedule so I have more energy during the day. That is a great point, Molly. Molly B with the win there. Sleep schedule is so important to our own mental health. Um,
Hmm.
the the world is a much better place when people are rested, thinking clearly, and able to operate throughout the day without being grumpy, tired, fatigued. All of those factor in, um, and they all stem from a good sleep schedule. That's one thing that I was able to get on a sleep schedule when I was in my inpatient rehab stay,
Hmm.
which I haven't had a normal sleep schedule. And those of you that know me on the platform here know that I'm up at crazy hours, and my
Oh,
sleep schedule is a bit wonky. I do still get plenty of sleep, but it's just not on the typical 9 to 5 schedule that most people are. Um, but yes, it was quite an interesting and helpful process at rehab to be able to develop that sleep schedule and stick to it. Um, I felt clearer. I felt way better. It made learning and everything down there at the center that much easier. Um, what say you, Gemma, on sleep?
um, yeah, I'm not brilliant at it, and certainly I found like yourself with HAPs and stuff, and having more friends in another country doesn't help. And I think obviously because I can't just like stay up late, go to bed, and stay in till later because I've got a child, and he is just not going to let that happen. Um, then I don't know, but I've not been great at sleeping anyway because of pain and stuff. Pain is a huge factor for me when it's sleeping. And until I can truly get on top of that, I always think I'm going to have disturbed sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, going back a little while, there was, again, it was down to the PTSD and stuff. I was falling asleep, but knocking seven bells out of myself, physically beating myself up in my sleep. And at one point, that made me scared to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So for a while, I was actually afraid of going to sleep for that. But yeah, I'm still not perfect with the sleep thing. Hey, Doe.
Hey, Doe, welcome in. Yeah, sleep is definitely an integral part of our mental health, and it
Mhm.
definitely needs to be taken more seriously as far as our day-to-day lives go. Um,
Mhm.
I
I think
feel
as well,
like
like if you're not well rested, it makes you more grumpy and short-tempered, and that can affect the way in which you would approach a situation or speak to somebody. I've noticed, especially during the pandemic, people seem to be a lot more short-fused, shall we say, with other people, and not as much patience in general with other people.
yes,
So, I mean, that doesn't help. But then, yeah, definitely, like if you've not had a good night's sleep, it can and certainly does seem to affect the way people deal with situations and other people, and they do generally seem to be more aggressive.
yeah, certainly is true. It, we can't say it enough here. The sleep schedule is one of the most important things that you can do for yourself. Everybody can take time to revamp or just sit down and look at your sleep schedule. There are some apps you can get, some wonderful apps that uh, can help track your sleep patterns, can help try and keep you on a sleep schedule, and essentially, assist you in getting to bed at the right time, and also trying to uh, log the hours is that's what I'm trying to think of. Log the hours of your sleep,
Hmm.
and to take a look at the end of the week. You can sit down and look at, okay, I slept,
Mm.
from here to here. This is kind of, it'll map out what it looks like for you, which is a great tool. I highly recommend looking into that if you
Yeah,
guys are serious about trying to help yourself in the way of uh, the sleep schedule.
I've got an app that tracks my sleep, and like you can get them that are assigned to your watch and stuff, but you can actually get them if you haven't got a watch. You can actually get apps that will record your sleep without the watch as well. And I find them particularly useful because it'll record how many hours deep sleep you're having, and then the REM sleep, and if some of them even record sound and things. And like I found that particularly useful for when I was going through that stage of being quite aggressive, and like it was recording what I was saying, what I was doing, what I was like, what was going on in general for me. But I found looking at the amount of sleep I get is particularly helpful,
Yes.
and the apps help.
Yes. And hello to Sadie. Welcome on into the broadcast. We're talking anything and everything mental health tonight. It's just a special episode. There's no real topic at hand. And hi, TJ. Welcome in. Good to see everybody here tonight on this World Mental Health Day. So I did have the other graphic I'll throw up now. We could take a look at and kind of talk about some of these things. When asked, what tools are you currently using to take care of your emotional health? This falls into everybody's mental health. And I don't believe when this was taken that there was any given options to choose from. Everybody just kind of wrote in their own responses and they tallied up what was the most, uh, you know, prevalent. Listening to music by and far, as we've already discussed here on the program, is the lead runner for
Mm,
people doing things to take care of their own emotional health, their own mental health, kind of recenter, ground yourself. You can certainly do a number of these things, sometimes simultaneously. Listen to music and go for a fullness walk, or
mm,
listen to music while you're drawing. I've seen in the comments meditation and mindfulness. That's a 30% along with counseling services. And we'll talk a little bit more about counseling again, as I feel like it's a very important topic, especially for today. Getting outside, taking a walk, connecting with nature, um, 47%, but also 48% with good support system of friends. That is huge. You got to have that support network. And we can also get into some of that as well. But then coming in at the bottom is something else. For example, religious services, taking medication, staying in contact with mental health team, reading, writing. So down there, the last 13% there is kind of all the write-in, uh, you know, everything that didn't generate enough to get its own little category there. And I see apps made the list as well, the self-care organizational tools, like we were just talking about, the sleep schedule apps. Not a bad idea to utilize these apps that they put out there for mindfulness. They have them for relaxation training, as we mentioned, sleep schedule, etc. So, yeah, welcome on in, Ella. It is not Wednesday. You're right. It is Sunday. You are on the right channel. We're doing a World
it
Mental
was
Health Day special.
Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yes. So, what do you think of that list, Gemma? Um,
There's some of
just
them that I thought would have been higher up, actually. Um, I know
medication. or meditation and mindfulness comes in
Yeah, I
at
thought that
30.
would have been higher up actually.
Absolutely.
Um,
Thanks for the award, Ella.
like I struggle to do that because I can't switch off. So that's always been something that I have struggled with. Um, what else was I looking at? Does it mention medication on there?
Yeah, so that fell
Yeah, there's
into
that one.
the bottom there.
Oh
With
wow.
the,
Well, certainly here they seem very keen on giving medication like
so
quite a lot.
there's a number of things we can talk about medication.
Mm.
There are medicated assisted therapies. Thank you, Sadie, very very much for the award. And thank you to everybody for tuning in tonight on this World Mental Health Day special. Um, Medication. You have your antidepressants. You have your um, your normal prescribed medicines for anxiety and depression. However, there's also medicated MATs, they call them, medicated assisted therapies, which is something more like naltrexone, which I take for drinking. Another one being Antabuse. That's the more popular, well-known uh, uh, anti-drinking pill. That one makes you violently ill if you drink alcohol while taking it, whereas my naltrexone is more of like a craving type curb the craving kind of pill, get through without you know that constant thought in your brain
Yeah.
poking away at you saying drink drink drink. um, so yeah, there's a number of different things with medicine, which is maybe why it got grouped in at the bottom there. um,
Yeah. I
but
don't know what they're like over there for giving medication, like particularly antidepressants, but over here it seems to be that it's their go-to for literally everything.
yeah,
And
and that may be the case with some doctors here as well. I mean, it all depends on your primary care. And I'll make the disclaimer again that I've made on here before. Uh, if you're looking into any kind of antidepressants or uh, anti-anxiety medication, we highly recommend uh, talking this over with a psychiatrist first. Um,
yeah,
your general care doctor, care physician, uh, is more of a jack of all trades here, and not just focused in our minds, our mental health. Um,
master of none in my case with the GP. But yeah,
but
definitely, because the amount of medications they've tried me on, and certainly on a couple of situations it is said, and the GP didn't know this because that's what I mean, they are like a jack of all trades. It says when you look into it, do not take if you are taking the following medication. And I was on them, and I'd been on them a while before it went noticed.
mhm,
And by then, like I'd been on them a while, and because normally what happens here, especially in like with what I've seen, they will give you some antidepressants and then refer you on. And the idea is by then it's in your system for you then to be able to go and have the therapy, because there's such a heck of a long waiting list to get to see an NHS therapist that by the time you get there, they like you to be on medication as well. And that
mhm,
always isn't the best idea because they tend to go for one or two that seems to be their favorites, and it really isn't a one size fits all when it comes to medication.
mhm,
And it's about getting the right one. And sometimes the GP, as much as they may understand the overall part of you, they don't understand the in-depth side of it and what what is best to give, because there's certain medications when it comes to antidepressants that work better for certain types of depression, and it's about finding the right one for you.
yes, yes, and that's going to be the case with any medication.
Mhm.
On the mental health kind of side of things is that these drugs I found you tend to build a tolerance to, like my antidepressant. I take sertraline, and it
Okay.
constantly has to be adjusted um, to to keep up with how my body builds a tolerance to it. And um, there's even my doctor more recently has been talking about maybe adding a supplemental uh, pill um, into the mix to kind of help not supplement but reinforce it. I guess it kind of couples well with the sertraline and helps.
Mm.
So yes, it's an ever changing um, process to keep up with your mental health medications in general.
Yeah.
Um, I want to touch real quick on what Ella just said there, the sleep schedule. Going back to it, and how she says her brain has no off switch, and also there's some pain in there as well. I'll let you handle the pain side of things here in a second, but I
Hmm.
can I can speak to uh, the racing thoughts side of things.
Oh,
Um,
heck yeah.
it's an incredible uh, burden to try and lay down and go to sleep at night when it's bedtime with your
Hmm.
mind still racing a mile a minute, thinking about everything that you didn't accomplish today and everything that you have to still do tomorrow, on top of everything you have to do already tomorrow, and et cetera, et cetera. And what did this person think about that? And what did that person say? And
Oh, yeah.
just constantly you lay there in the darkness watching the ceiling fan go around as fast as your brain is moving.
Hmm.
I've lived that. I've done that several times. I am guilty. I have found that in my own travels here, uh, first of all, sobriety has taken that down substantially. Um, because when I was drinking heavily, I was already inside of my own head, in between my ears, as I said. I was in between my ears all the time, and it's it's a tough thing to try and get to sleep with that constantly going through your brain, being in between your ears about little things that sometimes don't even they're just insignificant. But then there are some other big things that we worry about and creates anxiety, um, etc. Uh, so that all falls into the whole medicated assisted therapy as well. I think if you talking to your psychiatrist, talking to a psychiatrist, excuse me, to get on a good track of mental health meds that we were discussing, and find something that works for you, which I, through trials and tribulations, have finally found something that is working for me. It makes it that much easier to lay down at night and keep the mind from overtaking everything else. Keep that racing thoughts to basically letting your brain know it's time to go to bed, and kind of you know slowly bringing it down. And sometimes that's the case too. Medicine isn't always the answer. You can certainly do some grounding techniques as well to kind of stop the racing thoughts. Uh, Take a half an hour before your scheduled bedtime that you'd like to try and keep to. Let's say you want to go to bed. You want to be in bed at 11 o'clock at night.
Mm.
So at 10:15, 10:30, start doing that wind down routine. Create one for yourself. Maybe, okay, everything's quiet in the house now. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to draw some Inktober, or I'm going to I'm going to lay here and listen to a guided meditation, or I'm going to lay here and I'm going to listen to music. Simply just listen to music, calming music. Let's not listen to Slipknot and everything and get your adrenaline going.
Even more so.
But some nice therapeutic uh, music, therapeutic specific to you.
Hmm.
Because maybe Slipknot is your thing that calms you. I don't know. Everybody's different. That's what makes this
I
whole
was joking about this the
thing
other day
great.
as well, saying about not listening to that when I'm driving as well.
the rage.
Yeah.
Yes, and Ella does a lovely service on here. She takes her insomnia, uh, and don't get Ella wrong. And Ella, if I'm speaking out of turn, you can certainly say so in the comments. But she Ella still sleeps, but
Mhm.
like much like myself, it's on a different time schedule than what is considered normal.
You're
Um,
just in the wrong time zone.
yeah. So if she's going to be up, she's providing a nice service on the Haps platform. You can come on into her room and listen to some ukulele and chill with Puppy Cat, and kind of kind of fall into a nice slumber that way. Um, I'm begging you, yes. I'll take at least 4 hours for my night meds to start kicking in. So, TJ, there you go. This is one of those things I was just talking about. Uh, if you schedule your bedtime, which is important, we talked about sleep schedule. If you schedule your bedtime for 11 o'clock and you want to stick with that every night, and you're able to do that, um, then start taking your meds accordingly. 4 hours prior to 11, which would be 7 o'clock. Um, so you know that it takes 4 hours, and you know then that you can start winding down, getting the brain to calm down with you, and when you go to finally lay down, it's your brain is in the mindset that okay, we're in bed now, and it's time to shut down for the night.
Mm.
Gemma, can you speak briefly on the pain side of things as far as what Ella was talking about with sleep?
Yeah, I can relate with the mind thing, doing a marathon. But yeah, the pain, I find it's weird because through the day, like personally, I have pain, and when you're moving around a lot and busy, it's there, but it's not until you lay down and you're meant to be switching off from everything. And I find that sometimes the pain is worse on a night because it's causing like a distraction as well from you being able to sleep. And it tends to be worse at night because when you're meant to be just laying still, like I can't sit still because of the pain and I'm constantly moving around. I'm doing it even now. Okay, then when you're laid there and you're like, all right, this hurts, you've got to adjust, and then you've got to adjust, and then you end up tossing and turning around, trying to find a comfortable position, and all the while that is distracting you, causing pain. And it's really difficult to try and get comfortable, and then your mind's going on about other things and about that, trying to switch off from the pain.
Mhm.
And I find that the best thing to do that I've found to try and it doesn't cure it, not by a long shot, but to try and help is to maybe if you can, like have a bath or just a warm shower before bed.
That's a good idea.
Um, I tend to like if I can, like it's difficult if you've got like a kid and stuff like me. But if I can time his bedtime right and he goes to bed and I can still do this, like have a bath or a warm shower, not with the really bright lights on though. If you can do it so that the big bright lights are not on, have a bath, even candles if you've got them. Listening to some calming music so it is completely unwinding you whilst you're in the bath. And then like there's some Epsom salts and things you can put in that helps. And then maybe like a warm drink, like people say like warm milk, things like that. And then another thing that I found that does help is like a really long, like the maternity pillows, the long ones. I have
Yes,
one of those because I find that if I can put it like under my head, down and between my knees, that
yes,
seems to help a lot to alleviate some of the pressure.
yes.
Because with mine, especially pressure points and things, and it really does help. Now, I couldn't get a pillow that met my needs for that. So I ended up just making one. They are really, really quite easy to make. In that sense that I literally just, and I can't sew very well, and I just sewed a great big sausage thing together. But you can actually buy them as well, even if you have to get a couple, and it just helps to alleviate like the pain with the pressure points and stuff.
Yeah.
Essential oils as well, like the diffusers that you can get. I've actually got one down there. You know, where you can put water in some like essential oils,
Uh-huh.
and it diffuses that. That's another good thing that I
The
use.
aromatherapy has actually been
Hmm.
um, touted as one of the better things, that you can actually
Mm.
set up very easily, very cheap on Amazon. They're not that expensive,
They are,
and they
yeah.
do actually help you if you get the soothing nighttime. I think they're called relaxation scents
Yeah.
or oils to put in there.
Mhm.
I've heard nothing but good things about it. And
Okay.
the body pillow, simply like the maternity pillow you were talking about, or body length pillow. Those things are great for posture, which is what
Mm.
you were getting at there. So if you just stick it between your legs and kind of, bear hug it, it kind of
Yeah.
keeps your spine aligned,
Mhm.
and it helps with that pain because, as a lot of people in the comments have been saying, nighttime's the worst for the pain. And yeah,
It
it does. When you're laying in the same position, it does
Mhm.
nothing for what you're.
Too many pillows as well under your head can cause problems.
Yeah,
I like if you've got 2 or 3 under you and you're like that, that causes a lot of problems with pain because of your spine again. So they recommend 1 pillow actually, so that it keeps you like flat and in the right position, even when you're on the side. Now I find it better to lie on my side, and tend to I tend to curl up like a cat or something, but I have the pillow like under the head, down the side, between the knees, and it alleviates the pressure points and things in that way. But another good thing, now, like I've actually tried it, so I can say that it does actually help somewhat. You know the Vicks vapor rub that you can get if you're like
hmm
stuffy? Rub it on the sole of your feet, put the socks on, and that also actually helps
really.
with pain, and like if you're feeling a bit under the weather, it does actually help as well.
That's interesting. I'll have to
And then
try
you can get
that.
the pillow mist spray, like it's like a lavender pillow mist spray. Yeah, on the soles of your feet, put it on, put a socks on, sleep with it on, and it does help.
Hmm.
But like you can get like a lavender pillow mist spray as well. That
hmm
helps. If
And a
you
lot
can't
of
get that,
people,
water and a few drops of lavender, give it a good shake, mist it over your
mhm,
pillow.
a lot
But
of people are coming in with the shutting off your electronics and all of that. So
yeah, yeah. At least
not.
it's say at least a couple of hours before you go to bed. Try not to look at a screen. I'm just
I
gonna
know
grab
we're.
this.
I know we all like to watch television, or perhaps we like to watch Ella's broadcast,
Yeah.
etc. These things distract our mind from racing. But there you go. Yeah,
That's it, and you just, like, put water in with some
yeah,
drops of oil and let it go, and it's got, like, quite a soothing sound to it
yeah,
as well, just
yeah.
listening
They're
to it.
they're all over Amazon.
Well, that was only, like, £20, so it's not expensive.
20 pounds. That's heavy. Um, so we all do like there it is. We all do like to watch TV, or our devices, maybe play Candy Crush or whatever.
Oh
What
god,
what this
no,
is
yeah.
doing, what this is doing is distracting the racing thoughts. It's not really shutting
Mm,
anything down.
yeah.
Um, so while you think you're doing your body some good, you're not really winding down. You're still stimulating. Um, you're still in an upward climb, basically.
Mhm.
So I agree with everyone. You got to shut down the electronics and have the dark room, to keep that sleep going. And TJ, I didn't mean to ignore your comment, but we'll go back up here real quick. It still doesn't help to wind down racing thoughts, night terrors, tremors, anxiety that I'm basically knocked or pass out due to meds. and nothing helps when I wake up to the night terrors. So that's definitely something that Gemma and I would probably both agree to speak to
Mhm.
a trained psychiatrist, um, and see if there's anything more. I know you probably have, and I know it's probably frustrating, but you got to keep walking. You got to keep at it,
Mm.
um, and keep on top of the psychiatrists or the counselors, and tell them that you're still struggling with this and that you'd like to
Mm.
find a course of action that will help. Um, and I'll get into, because I want to touch on counseling next. This is huge in my own journey. I've touted group therapy as one of the greatest things that I've come across, and it might be something that can help you out as well, TJ, um, with specifically for this, for night terrors, finding a support group, a support
Mm.
network of folks that live and have and struggle with night terrors and PTSD
Mm.
from the service that you have done, which we thank you so greatly for. And group therapy has been one of my favorite things in my own journey. That group therapy setting isn't for everybody. Some people much prefer the one-on-one intimate relationship of a counselor and patient, um, but well, I use all of it. I do the one-on-one, but I also do the group therapy and the peer support groups. There's a bunch of them available out there on Zoom, and they're free. I get on all kinds of them. First responder peer support groups, alcohol, uh, living with alcoholism, peer support. It's not just AA that I do. Um, so there's maybe yes, and agoraphobia. They have a support group for that out there as well. Maybe Gemma and I can find some more um, kind of helpful links, or maybe some Zoom meetings that we can set you up with, and we'll hit you up in our DMs. Um, and yes, we're here for you as well, TJ. You're always welcome in the mental health hour anytime, or me and Ella's
Yeah.
broadcast, or if Gemma's crafting resin, come on by, stop by, say what's up. And yes, this is HAPS is another great support network of folks that it's so imperative that we keep positive support networks in our lives and positive counseling networks
Yeah.
that we can. Uh, and while this is great, TJ, and while we love having you, sometimes it's just not enough. We need to do more. We need to do more for ourselves to combat these night terrors,
Mm.
or alcoholism or what have you. Would you agree, Gemma?
Yeah, for sure. I did have the night terrors, and so did Thomas, so I can relate with that. But I definitely had to go and get something else and get like. In the end, I ended up having to have sleep studies and things because of it. So I couldn't have done it alone. I did have to have some sort of intervention with that. So yeah, there's so much out there. So
Mr.
maybe
Opera.
find something. Hey Jay.
How are you, Jay Opera? And he's saying to search classical symphonic music for sleep in
Mm.
YouTube. And that is always, a great, thank you for that, Jay.
Yeah.
That goes in line with the soothing more side of the music world than the Slipknot rage driving that we were talking about.
Am I
Um,
alright to try and explain the difference for Ella there?
yes, go for it.
So a nightmare is something that will wake you up generally, like, or you will remember it. Like, for example, Thomas has been recently having them both, and he will wake up, scream. Sometimes you remember it, sometimes you don't. You just remember that you've had a nightmare, maybe. A night terror, I found very difficult to watch because it generally doesn't wake you up. I found. And you can be screaming and shouting and getting quite like I did. I got quite aggressive with myself in my sleep, but I had absolutely no recollection of it in the morning when I woke up, like at all. Um, so that's, I think, the main difference with them.
You can see if you go on YouTube, they have recorded sleep studies of people with night terrors and such. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's eye opening stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
they're
definitely
pretty.
something, definitely something to follow up with more than more than with us. You know, obviously. Like I said, I'll tout the support groups out there again. Um, just the group therapy setting for me is just an amazing thing.
Mhm.
And throw this graphic up one more time to look at some other calming, soothing, grounding things we can do for our emotional health. Counseling is right up there. Proper nutrition we haven't really touched on. We did talk about proper sleep being a huge role in it. Everybody loves listening to music. The good support system, we've been touching on that. Um, apps for your self care and things like sleep schedules and nutritional diets, what have you. There's apps out there for everything that can help you log uh, all of the mental health side of things. Highly suggest taking a look at them. Some of them are subscription services, but some of them are offered for free. There is a nice one that I use called Just Breathe. That's a good mental health app. Um, the Apple Watch does a bunch of things like mindfulness minutes, keeps reminding me every day. It'll knock me on the wrist and say, hey, take a minute to breathe in and out and do a self check in, you know. Kind of reminds me to check in on myself and see how my mental health day is going as far as that goes. And obviously, getting outside, taking a walk, exercising, exercising is nobody's favorite, but always on the list of things to do to help, you know, your own mental health or, you know, really anything at all. Um, and then meditation and mindfulness coming in there as well. Meditation, that's another great tool to use. If you are any good at it, you know what the benefits of meditation is and are rather. Um, I am not the best meditator. Uh, I
Mm.
can I can lay down and be still without shaking my leg or any of that stuff for maybe 10 minutes, and that's about all you'll get out of me. But there are a lot of guided meditations out there that are only 10 minutes long. You know, so it doesn't have to be an hour long thing to sit down and meditate, but um, definitely does have a key role in a lot of people's sound
Mhm.
minds and mental health. Nutrition is really important. Good food makes you feel good, yes, and a short walk is nice. I do like going out for a short walk, but it's more than just getting out for the walk. It's about the mindfulness of it all. Take in the smells, the sights, all five senses need to be peaked. You know, when you're out for this short walk, go through in your head exactly what you're seeing, exactly what you're smelling, exactly what you're hearing, etc. You really want to get the full benefit out of all five senses and just take it all in. And then, of course, counseling. We've touted that a good bit as well. Um,
Mm.
counseling, uh, especially for things that are seemingly out of your control, but
Yeah.
you can rein back in with the help of others. Group therapy, so key for me. What do you think, Emma?
Yeah, definitely. And there's
What are
absolutely
your
no
thoughts on
shame.
group therapy versus one on one?
well, my personal experience of it, I struggle to do the group thing. My worry was always like the fact that if I'm going to go to a group and open up to a bunch of people that I don't know, and then I happen to see them around, like out and about, I struggle with that. It can be good, like to, I guess, let you know you're not on your own with that. And I certainly did group therapy when it came to the self-harming side of things. Um, and that one actually really quite helped because it wasn't one of those groups that told you you can't self-harm, you can't do it, you're bad for doing it. It was more of a group that addressed, yes, okay, you're doing it. Can we do this any other way? Because it wasn't necessarily for me always about seeing blood, because that's not always what I did. It was about having control over the pain I was feeling and physically being able to choose to move it. Like if I had pain in my heart, say, and I was upset, it was about getting that and causing a pain somewhere else so that I was in control of that pain.
Mhm.
And they were about trying to find a different way to cause that instant ouch without putting your life at risk. And that group was good, but certainly for some of the deep dark stuff, I do prefer the one-to-one side of things. But as with anything, whether it's group or one-to-one, you've got to make a connection with the person that you're talking to. Like with the therapist one-to-one, if you find you aren't getting on with them and you can't make a connection, at the end of the day, they're working for you. So if you were getting like, I don't know, like someone working for you and they weren't doing the job properly, you would move on and get somebody else. So it's
Mhm.
just the same when it comes to a therapist. Keep moving on until you get one that you've got a connection with. And if you go into a group therapy and you like I did, it happened to me, and I was like, there is no way I am opening up to this bunch of people. I can't do it.
Mhm.
And I went and said something in the end. I says, look, have you got any other ones? And they did. And
Absolutely. Um,
it's, if you're going to be literally pouring your heart and soul out, you want to make sure that the person you're doing that with is somebody that you can connect with in some way or another.
mhm.
So, you know,
Yeah, that's true. Truer words have never been spoken. You're putting your heart and soul into this, and you're also
mm,
uh, putting money into this, be it
yeah.
insurance or what have you. Money is going into this as well. And just like when you purchase something, you expect it to
Well,
work or be what you.
even if it's over here and it's on the NHS and it's not necessarily money, at the end of the day, if you're going to be putting your heart and soul into it, regardless of any money spent, if you're literally giving them everything that's in here and in here,
Mhm.
you want to make sure that they're going to, number one, respect what's coming out of you. Number two, that you don't feel that you're just being passed off, because I'll never forget I had a therapist, and all he did was sit there clicking his pen and looking me up and down, and I'm just gonna say it, like the number of times I wanted to rip that pen out of his hand and shove it up his backside was unreal. So in the end I thought, look, there is no point me being here because I am not going to start telling him stuff. And I thought, well, we're just going to be wasting each other's time. So for that alone, I thought, right, no, I need to find someone else. So
Mhm.
regardless of any money spent or anything, if you are not making a connection with that therapist and you don't feel you're going to be able to talk to them, move on. Because what is the point of only giving half a story? If you want to fully heal, you need to give everything and put everything into it. Because if you only give half a story, half a journey, half a heart, you're only going to get half back.
Those are great words. Great words to take in. Very true. One of the things that we definitely tout among many things, but most importantly, when it comes to counseling, that connection has to be there. And you're absolutely right. So thank you for sharing that.
Am I okay to do a quick mile update for Doe?
Absolutely.
Right, so as of today, she's completed 62 miles.
Wow.
Doe has done 62 miles, and it is only day 11. No, 10, because it's after midnight. So in 10 days, 62 miles.
Crushing it. Crushing it.
Absolutely.
For those of you wondering exactly what we're talking about, Doe Darling, as you've known, as you've seen on the show here, is walking for the UK charity Mind. It's a mental health charity, and it is she's trying to get 500 pounds, I think it was, and there's her link at the top there. Please go and visit Doe's site and check it out, if nothing else. And if you feel inclined to donate, I believe it was up to 80% now. I think Doe has
it's
400 pounds raised out of
401 of 500.
401 pounds raised. The 99 pounds remaining for
wrong way.
Doe's goal. And I've included the link, the Tiny Earl link. And that's about it on this World Mental Health Day special. Thank you all for joining us on this special episode that we put together for the special day.
Yes.
Any final words from my esteemed co-host? I think you're
nothing like really big, nothing really deep, but at the end of the day, no matter what you're going through, like no matter what it is, make sure that you're looking after yourself. Don't be giving everybody everything of you, because at the end of the day, it's only you that can take care of you at the end of the day. Nobody else is going to do that. So put yourself first, even just a little bit more, and take care of yourself. Practice a bit of self-love, practice a bit of self-care, and just go easy on yourself. Because the way I think about it now, the number of times I used to beat myself up about something, think of it as this. Whatever you're beating yourself up about, would you say that to your best friend or the person that you care about? And if the answer is no, then why on earth would you say it to yourself?
True. Very true. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thanks for all the lovely awards, and thanks for the comments. You guys are truly the ones that make this show what it is, and we're so happy to be joined by you guys every single week, and that will continue for as long as we're allowed to keep doing this on this platform. This Wednesday, we have episode 21 coming up this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 p.m. UK, and that'll be on toxic friendships. So we're very excited about that one coming up. And we're gonna get on out of here for this broadcast. So thanks again for hanging out. And here's Doe's video on our outro. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.